Peace is an ideal. War is real. In Game of Thrones, the sword speaks loudest and dictates the fate of the Seven Kingdoms. Master swordsmen earn their reputations and defend them until their death. With Season 6 of Game of Thrones heating up and many battles headed our way, let's take a look at the most powerful fighters in Westeros and see who comes out on top. Jon Snow. With the Valyrian steel sword Longclaw at his disposal, Snow has dispatched wildlings and White Walkers alike. It seems that even death can't keep Jon Snow from growing as a fighter and a leader. While far from being the best fighter in Westeros, Jon Snow proved to be the best swordsman to join the Night's Watch. Between quelling a wildling invasion, killing White Walkers, and defending those in his brotherhood, Jon's earned his spot on this list with blood on his hands and truth in his heart. Khal Drogo. As the leader of the Dothraki horde, Khal Drogo rules with great intimidation and violence. When he fights, he doesn't just look to kill, he seeks to dismember his enemy and tarnish their memory. In his ultimately fatal fight with the insurrectionist Mago, Drogo not only wins the battle, he guts his foe and removes his tongue. Better yet, he does this all without a sword and blade, working solely with his hands. Daario Naharis. Daario has said that the gods gave men two things to entertain themselves with before they die: the thrill of having sex with a woman who earnestly wants it, and the thrill of killing a man who's trying to kill you first. So his code of conduct doesn't have him sleep with prostitutes or kill bystanders. Don't let that code fool you though. Being trained as a pit fighter since he was sold into slavery at age 12, he became so proficient and made his master so much money from fight winnings that he was granted freedom when his owner died. He's fast, he's disciplined, and he's a master of many styles who's an absolute force to be reckoned with. The Hound. That satisfying feeling we get from biting into a really great meal seems to be the same feeling that the Hound gets when he gets to kill someone who really deserves it. While he holds more regard for killing and death than he ever has for life, he's fiercely loyal and ruthlessly defends whomever is under his guard. If by chance he isn't there to defend them when the enemy storms, his warpath of vengeance is legendary. Sandor the Hound Clegane has killed with everything from axes to his bare hands, and he's not loyal to the sword. But when it comes time to pick the steel up, he doesn't disappoint. Brienne of Tarth. Should anyone doubt Brienne of Tarth's defensive abilities, they must simply interview the Hound. In what may be remembered as one of the most unrelenting fights in Game of Thrones, Brienne roundly beats Sandor Clegane within an inch of his life. While she's armed with a Valyrian longsword cast out of ice called the Oathkeeper and a huge height and strength advantage over the vast majority of her foes, it's the deep well of honor and justice that drives Brienne to continue fighting and winning. The Mountain. Game of Thrones gives us two Cleganes for the price of one. Barring the obvious differences in stature between the Hound and the Mountain, there are deeper psychological differences that separate the two brothers. The Mountain lives without compunction, a killing machine that even small armies would have difficulty subduing. The two brothers despise each other, their mutual hatred emanating without end. Though he's now one of the undead, the Mountain's massive quantities of brutal killings put him at number 5 on our list of most powerful fighters in Westeros. Oberyn Martell. The Red Viper of Dorne was defeated not by the Mountain, but by his own arrogance. Indeed, he takes a unique approach to battle, foregoing the sword for an 8-foot-long ash spear that gives him a greater reach in the arena. An acrobatic and impossibly agile fighter, Oberyn Martell could have easily dominated the top spot on this list had he not wasted time with the wounded body of the Mountain. He may have also benefited from avoiding too much wine before the fight. Without much armor or any sort of defense, he attempted to climb the mountain with swiftness alone. No armor, no defense. Like Achilles at Troy, however, his hubris and boundless self-belief left him dead in a moment of weakness during an unforgettable head-crushing event that almost saw Tyrion Lannister sentenced to death. Jaime Lannister. When the curtain first rises on Game of Thrones, Jaime Lannister stands in the spotlight. Having deposed of the Mad King Aerys, told in one of the series' best monologues, Jaime welcomes a secondary identity in addition to his Lannister name: Kingslayer! By murdering Aerys, Jaime unquestionably did the Seven Kingdoms a great favor, though his reputation as Kingslayer has overshadowed his gifts with the longsword. Before losing his right hand to the vicious Lock, Jaime possessed practically unrivaled dueling talent. Though he's since been forced to relearn the swordsman craft with his left hand, it's unlikely that he'll ever achieve the level of skill he once had. Sir Barristan Selmy. Known as Barristan the Bold, the former Kingsguard member served under both the Mad King Aerys and Robert Baratheon for a combined 40 years. His legacy is nearly unrivaled in Westeros, with tales of his heroism filling countless history books. Unlike Jaime Lannister, Sir Barristan stood by King Aerys through his fits of insanity, holding steadfast to his pledge of fealty. This has not been lost on the people of King's Landing, who look up to Sir Barristan as one of the few Kingsguard to truly uphold their duty. Having gone a lifetime without serving someone he truly admired, however, Sir Barristan finally found his leader in Daenerys Targaryen, for whom he sacrificed himself in combat. Sir Arthur Dayne. While introduced in Season 4 with King Joffrey perusing the Book of Brothers, Sir Arthur Dayne made his first full appearance in Season 6. As the infamous Sword of the Morning, Sir Arthur wields 2 weapons and cuts through all of Ned Stark's men in defense of the Tower of Joy. While Sir Arthur appears to be a just and good man, his fighting is of the most vicious and unrelenting order. With Bran and the Three-Eyed Raven looking on, they finally understand that Ned Stark defeated the legendary swordsman not through tactics or talent, but through Howland Reed's unmentioned backstabbing. Though Ned delivers the coup de grace to the Sword of the Morning, it remains clear: Sir Arthur Dayne was deservedly the most feared swordsman in all of Westeros. What do you think of our top picks for best swordsman in Game of Thrones? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe.